It's a beautiful Tuesday evening, and I take the opportunity to welcome you all once again to the Dr. Love Show right here on Shine TV. I am your host, Na Ashoko Ajay. A big thank you to Bewless Collection and Fredco Construction Limited. Not forgetting our Papa, Apostle Felix Henry Dowu of the Abundance Grace Apostolic Church. Stay with me as we dive into the case for today. With me here is my wonderful guest in the person of Pastor Patrick Ochrilati. Pastor, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
This evening, you look good.
Same applies to you.
It's been a while,
I'm
just
telling
a
you.
week, but it looks like a year.
Yes.
I hope everything is fine.
Well, grace has been sufficient for us.
We give God the glory.
And I hope you're also doing good because you're looking wonderful.
By His grace. It's just by His grace that we are alive now.
We thank God.
So, like we always do, we have a story for today that we need to dive into so that we can advise our patients on how to keep these kind of situations when they get into it in their relationship and love life. So, not wasting much time, I'll just go straight to the story so we take it on from there.
Sure.
Okay, so story for the day. Dear Dr. Love, I'm reaching out in desperation, hoping to find guidance and support. My 5-year marriage is struggling due to a lack of intimacy and connection. My husband shows little interest in foreplay or my sexual pleasure, leading to months of abstinence. Despite my effort to communicate, he seems unresponsive to my needs. I yearn for a fulfilling sexual relationship, but his indifference is taking a toll on my emotional well-being. I'm exhausted, stressed, and feeling unheard. Please offer advice on how to address this issue with my husband and encourage him to prioritize our sexual connection. I am eager to reignite our passion and build a stronger and more intimate relationship. This lady,
Wow.
this is what she has for us today.
Wow. That's quite interesting. And let me start on this tangent by saying that I really want to put myself in their shoes, and I really appreciate this kind of problem because what she's going through happens to be the cause of a lot of problems in marriages when it comes to sex life. Okay, and fortunately or unfortunately, a lot of marriages are going through this because of the lack of understanding. You see, because I don't know if they went through counseling before they got married, but I think the society or even churches should be able to institute systems where before people enter into marriages, they are taken through thorough counseling. And of course, their sexual lives or their sex lives should be one major topic that should be treated thoroughly. Because you see, sex is a very key component in every marriage. And the lack of an understanding on how important sex is in marriage causes some of these problems. Okay, so I would first of all want to, like I said, I would want to empathize with this lady. Now, back to the issue. First of all, there are a lot of questions that need to be asked and answered. Again, how was it like when they were dating? Okay, did they take time to talk about their sex lives, as in not necessarily engaging in it whilst they were dating though, but dating is a stage where couples would have to take time or make time to talk about a lot of issues before they enter into marriage. And some of these things should be addressed whilst you are at the dating stage so that you get to know your partner's perception when it comes to certain things. And of course, again, like I said earlier, sex is very, very key because lack of sex in every or in any marriage would most likely create problems. It would most likely create problems. Why? Because sex is something that was instituted by God, and He instituted it as to be part of marriages to help achieve His purpose. What is the purpose? For procreational purposes. Okay, so that out of sex life would multiply. Again, of course, we are doing this program on the basis of Christian principles. So when you read the Bible carefully, you would understand that God instructed man to multiply, to increase, to replenish it. And how is man going to do that? It's through sexual gratification or sexual activities. So if you happen to have a marriage where there is lack of sex or there is lack of intimacy, then it's a huge problem. So first of all, I would tell this lady, if they went through counseling before getting married, I would advise she contacts their counselor, of course, with the consent of her husband. Because normally, after getting married, it is not everybody who would want his or her issues to be discussed outside. So if she ever wants to discuss it with anybody, more especially, I would advise she does it with their counselor. She has to first of all talk to the husband and get his approval before. And you see, it will become more problematic if the husband doesn't see anything wrong with it. Okay?
Yeah.
It becomes a little bit of a problem if he feels it's a normal thing. It's just a lack of desire of sex that he is experiencing. He doesn't have the need or he doesn't feel the desire to have sex with a wife or anything of that sort. But again, if he doesn't have the desire for sex, it is a huge problem. It's a big problem. Okay. So first of all, she should get the husband's consent, reach out to the counselor, and let the counselor talk to the husband. Let the counselor try to find out why the husband has lost interest in intimacy. Why the husband doesn't want to have sex with her any longer. Maybe something may have accounted for that. Maybe something may have caused that. And more especially if when they were dating or from the initial stages of the marriage, it wasn't so. Maybe he developed that attitude somewhere along or as the marriage grew along the line. Okay. If something made him lose interest in it, the counselor should be able to get him to talk about it. Maybe it was something the wife started doing that made him lose interest in getting intimate with the wife. Something. Definitely, there should be a reason for that. Because if it is not addressed, and especially now that it has started becoming a problem for the woman, if it is not addressed quickly, it may lead to other problems. And typically, okay, if she's a woman, and of course this may even divert or it would make us divert to a different side altogether, but I think we have to touch on it. When it comes to sex for men is different from how it is for women. Okay, so it is important, and that is why again there should be counseling for every would-be couples so that all these things are explained to them. So if you're a man, you have to understand that to your wife, sex is very, very important. And I always keep saying this, that look, before a woman will give herself to you to have sex with you, unless of course, it is for promiscuous reasons and all of that. But a woman who would want to keep herself for the husband, a woman who really understands the importance of chastity and all of that, before she would give herself to a man to have sex with, then she would do that out of pure and genuine love. And it is only women who truly love their husbands who would really want to get intimate with them. So it means that once the woman has experienced or has started experiencing lack of intimacy, it is really a bother to her. It is really a bother to her. So the husband should be spoken to and should be encouraged to bring out any reason, if there is, why he has lost interest in intimacy with the wife. If it is something that can be talked about, if it is medical, we go the medical way. If it is psychological, we talk to him. We try to psych him up again. We try to let him, for all you know, maybe it could be stress. I mean, there could be several factors. There could be several reasons. If there's something, or if it's something that the wife did that made him lose interest, then the husband should be able to talk to the wife and let
So
her know that
we could say that communication can solve the
communication is
problem.
very, very key in this. It is very, because I want to believe that it wasn't so from the beginning of the marriage.
Okay.
It wasn't so. I want to
And
believe.
if it was so from the beginning of the marriage, it could be that from the beginning, like throughout the dating process, they were doing this. Okay, let's get married first. Let's get married first. So they didn't. The lady didn't see that side of the
of the
a
man.
husband
Mm,
before they
mm,
got into the
mm,
marriage.
mm.
That could be if this problem is in the beginning of the marriage.
Yes. And just as you have rightly said, sometimes again, dating is a stage where the couples would have to take time to study each other. There are certain issues that when you want to discuss or when you're discussing them at the courting stage or the dating stage, don't sweep it under the carpet. Try as much as you can to get your partner to come clear on the issue. It is not now that you would hope that the person will change when you enter into marriage. This thing of he will change when we get married. I don't understand, and I don't know where our young men and women learned
Got
these
this
things from.
from.
Look, the person has built a particular character for over 20 plus years of his or her life. You are not going to be the person just walk into his life or her life
Change it
and then
within
expect
a
that he will
twinkle
change
of an
overnight.
eye.
No, it doesn't happen. So if the person wasn't interested in talking about sex when you were, and of course, again, let's say this cautiously. We are not saying talking about it means you should engage in it, because on this program we always advocate for abstinence before marriage. So we would always want to say that look, try as much as you can. If you have to pray that God will give you the grace to keep yourselves before you get married, fine. Once you are married, you can have it 24/7. Okay, but if you talk about it, you would get to know your partner's view when it comes to sex. So that if the person hasn't got the right view during your courtship stage or during your counseling, you can bring it up so that the person will be well educated on that subject.
But there are instances where you want to talk about it, but the other party is not willing to.
Then
So
it's a
how
bigger
do you
problem.
find out
It's a bigger problem.
their take on that?
It's a bigger problem. And I always keep saying that marriage is not for children. It's for grown-ups. It's for mature people. So if you want
Grown-ups,
to,
as in age-wise
of
or
course,
maturity in
in
the
terms of
mind.
maturity of
Okay,
mind, okay, it is
okay.
very maturity of mindset is very very key. So because at the end of the day, if the person is not matured mentally, okay, emotionally, the person doesn't have the willpower to come clear on certain issues, I don't think the person will be well prepared for marriage. So if your partner during your dating stages shows lack of interest in talking about these issues, it should be a big red flag to you. And again, don't sweep it under the carpet with the excuse that, oh, when we marry, he will change. He will change.
I will
No.
change him.
You
I
would,
will change
well,
him.
maybe you
I will
created him, so you
change
think you can
him.
change him.
That he will change Nekra is not really
You
annoying, like
see,
I will change him.
as if God, of course,
Eh,
there are people God uses to change others.
true.
But until you get a clear instruction that, hey, I'm taking you into this guy's life to go and change him. I'm taking you into this lady's life to go and change her. Please don't make yourself. In fact, you haven't died to save anybody. It is only Jesus who died to save all of us. And he's the only one who has the willpower, who has what it takes to change people. God can use you to change somebody, but don't make it look like 100% certainly God should use you to change somebody. No, no. So, my dear sister,
Somebody who is not even willing to change.
it becomes harder. You see, so my dear sister, I would advise her that first of all, she seeks the consent of the husband. If the husband is okay with it, she should bring their counselor into the situation. Okay, get the counselor to talk to the husband. The counselor should find out why the husband has lost interest when it comes to their sex lives. And if the husband is able to bring out his concerns, bring out why he has lost interest all of a sudden, I believe that once he's able to voice it out, once he's able to communicate it, there should be a way around it. And whatever concerns the husband raises, the wife should also be ready to work on, especially when the husband says things that have to do with maybe her attitude or anything that is connected to her.
Okay.
Yes, she should be ready to work on it and then trust God that with time, it would get better. It's very, very important. Okay, so because again, like I said, I can really share her pain. It's not an easy thing to be married, and then your spouse wouldn't show any kind of interest in your intimate lives. It is very, very, very worrying. It is very, very worrying. It is very, very worrying.
Yebeteo.
Hmm.
Hey, Charlie.
Hmm.
It is well.
It is well, my dear.
Mm.
It is well, my dear.
What do we have to tell this lady? Like, Our final words to her.
First, you should pray about it.
Okay.
Seek the consent of the husband.
All right.
She should talk to someone, a counselor, somebody the husband reveres. And you see, should the husband stop her from bringing the third party, okay, I would tell her that she should pray a lot about it. Because look, marriage is as spiritual as it is physical. There could be something behind her husband's lack of interest to get intimate with her. You may never know. Because there are a lot of benefits that come with sex. So if there's something that is trying to stop them from enjoying their sex lives, I think she shouldn't just sleep on it. She should seriously pray about it. And it's expected that she should be the one, and I'm saying this on the hindsight that the husband stops her from talking to somebody about it. Because in this case, she would be the best person. Of course, she mentioned it that she has done everything possible. She shouldn't give up. She shouldn't give up. Okay, she should use whatever genuine way she can think of. She should think of it. If
Get him on board.
exactly, okay, if it has to waking him up at dawn, if it has to triggering his emotions, anything. And again, of course, she should know the husband better. She should know the likes of the husband. She should know the times that the husband would be in the mood to talk and all those things. And I believe that she would be able to at least find something particular that would get her husband to talk. And when she's able to discover that thing, she should quickly implement it. And I believe that by the grace of God and with the grace of God, the husband will come on board and then open up for her to really get him talking to solve this issue.
Oh, amen. God bless you so much, Joseph. So, as you've clearly heard, this is what we do best on the Dr. Love Show. And I believe that she has gotten a solution to her problem, same as you watching. In case you've gone into a situation like that or you are yet to experience something like that, this is your chance. So, let's take this 1 minute to give shout outs to whoever you want to.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I would want to give a big shout out to my lovely wife, Lady Mrs. Otrelite. I know she's watching. And I want to thank her so much for all the support and all the many wonderful years we've been together. She's really been a great source of encouragement to us, to me personally, and then my kids. I want to say a big thank you to her. And then also, of course, to the president of FGCI, Bishop Della. I want to say thank you so much, and I want to tell him that I'm so grateful for the opportunity to serve under him. And I also want to say a big thank you and a big shout out to Shine TV for this great opportunity and privilege. Thank you so much, and then God bless you so much.
A very big one to our Papa of the house, Apostle Felix Henry Dowu of the Abundance Grace Apostolic Church, and Fredco Constructions Limited, Bueller's Collection. And to you all for taking time to always watch. Don't forget to like and share. Share for others to follow, to also come and watch and like and share. I am Na Ashoko Ajay, and I did this with Pastor Patrick Otrelati. See you on the next episode.